chat! How's everyone doing? Let's bring down the music here. Let's switch over to scenes. Let's go to the Polymark and scene, baby. How's everyone doing? Give me a second. Oh, what the hell? That's the wrong scene. Here we go. How's everyone doing? Welcome back to another episode. We are currently getting ready for the earnings call from Dell. Dell Technologies coming in with their earnings call. Where is it? Dell earnings. Let's go to DELL. Should be starting at 4:30. I'm not sure if it has yet. Looks like we are 4 minutes into it. Oh, we're not. They're playing music in the background at the moment. So once Dell Technologies call starts to go live, we'll start getting into it a little bit. Let me just go to a new tab here. That way, what the heck? You know what? Let me just do this. Control N, bet more, because that's my trading website that I use to bet with. Launch the app, go to Dell, and then we will click this, In the meantime, I will open up, where is it? Let's go to mentions, mention markets, and Dell. There you go. Now we are all ready. These are the words that we'll be looking for. I think I am positioned in confidence at 65 cents, right around where it's trading at the moment. We are also in Nvidia 5 plus times. I have no on Nvidia 5 plus times at 40 cents. Looking like the bids dropped out on that a little bit. I also have RTX Pro 6000 as a yes. So where is that? That one is looking a little bit better. Yeah, I guess I'm actually at 50 cents, but the best offer is 94 cents. A little spready, I guess. Doesn't really matter. Now looking at that afterwards, and then I have no for China, which could be wrong. We'll see how this one plays out. We got a couple, couple words. We're playing word bingo, and we got a couple words ready for us to partake in. Along with that, market today was pretty fireworks, man. Fireworks on the market. Beautiful reversal. QQQ went right back up to the north side there. Let me bring the chart in. QQQ started the day looking pretty bad, but had a nice little move right back to the upside today after the original downswing. S&P 500 also ending the day up nicely. We don't even need to talk about IWM and everything else. Some of the stocks that I called out yesterday, KEYS, played out exactly as I was looking for. I told you guys to watch out for this 190 area, and it gave you exactly a move from 190 into 195 to 200, which is exactly what I was looking for. See how it played out picture perfectly? This was a trade we talked about last night on stream for you guys. Outlined exactly what I'm thinking would happen, and that happened exactly picture perfect. So I mean, I can't make this up. When you've seen it enough times play out in the market, it's almost impossible to not be a predictor when it comes to the stock market at this point. But the job of the market is not to predict, or your job in the market is not to predict what happens. It's to execute. So a prediction and an idea without execution is irrelevant. It means nothing. The reason I'm saying that is because I did not take this trade, even though it's set up exactly how I wanted to, and that's because of liquidity. The volume was very dead off the open. The spread was $1. The bid was 190 and the offer was 191. The spread was $1, and this was just impossible to trade at that moment. I'm not gonna trade a stock with $1 spread. That's crazy. So just watched it, ended up moving around. Just watched it move around, and was a little upset for not taking what could have been maybe the easiest trade right here at 191, risking below 190. Basically, the backside scalp after a failed lower day break right here. A failed lower day break, and then a backside scalp setting up at 191, giving it the risk to 190, and that could have given you a very good risk to reward setup, about $5 per share. I guess not five, but about $4 per share profit could have been made for risking only $1 per share. So that's a pretty good trade, 4:1 risk to reward overall. So I'm a little annoyed for not taking this one, but I think I did the right thing, which is staying away from it, given how spready it was, given how ugly the liquidity was on this name. But it is what it is. There were other names today. ANF with the monster move to the upside, blasting off ANF, KSS, all of them absolutely ripping. I had the KSS trade here at the high of day, but I got chopped up a little bit. I had a red day today. Lost some money. Didn't really work out how I wanted to. Even though my ideas were logical, my execution wasn't so good, I guess, and overall paid the price for it, taking another L on the market. We'll see. However, we'll see if the poly market side, it looks like the earnings call is actually live right now from our good friends at Dell Technologies. Hopefully this earnings call turns things around for me on the day. It won't turn things around completely where I'm turning a red day into a green day, but at least it'll minimize some of the damage, and we'll see if it plays out like that. As I've already mentioned, some of the words I was looking for, and we will keep on circling back to the earnings transcript to see if any of the words that I am looking for have been said or not. throughout the conference, such as Windows 10. Windows 10 coming to an end very soon. And if you go through previous transcripts, you can see they were talking about the Windows 10 coming to an end almost every single earnings call, which is currently trading at 86 cents on the bid. So if you want to buy Windows 10, you could buy it for 86 cents and lock in your bet. But I think 86 cents a little too rich. The bid is actually at 13 cents for this market. That's why it's a little too rich in my opinion. But a lot of words are where is it? There's a lot of words that we already have set up for power edge or power edge. This is a word that I actually haven't seen being used a lot in their earnings transcripts, but maybe that's something new. I don't really know what power edge was, so I don't want to take a gamble over there. Sometimes when you don't know, the little details. Look at that: power store, power max, power flex, power storage. They didn't say power edge anywhere through this, right? So something like that. Maybe the fact that they said all of these things with power, but they didn't use power edge could be an indication that, which is also something very close to what I've seen on other sides on this very same word. I haven't actually seen this word been used, or this sentence, I guess 2 words, not a sentence, hasn't been used much in previous transcripts. So I was a little bit, looking to buy the no on this one, but it looks like some other people also have no on that name. You can see how they have no on, is that a no? I'm guessing the red means no. This guy has no on basically everything, which is a little crazy. But yeah, power edge almost seems like a easy trade for me to buy some no. But like I said earlier, I don't really know what power edge is. Is that a product in their portfolio? And if it was a power product in their portfolio, maybe they would have said it while they said all these words, right? Power store, power max, power flex, power storage. They said every other word except for edge after power. So I'm wondering, maybe power edge is not really, you know what, let's look for, there's no power edge here. Is it power edge here? Let's just scan for power efficiency, power store, power max, power store, power scale, power. All I see is power everywhere in the last transcript, and I don't see power edge anywhere. Right here again, power the next wave, power store, powerful energy, power to run, power cooling, powerful, power scale. I just don't see power edge being used much across the board. So being able to buy power edge at 52 cents for the no might actually talk myself into doing this live, which I hate doing, but why not? Let's just lose a little bit more money on the day if we are wrong. So I'm gonna buy some power edge no, for the fact that they said almost every single power variant that they could have, except for this single one. So I'm just gonna snag some shares here. We'll see if we end up getting profitable on one more position or not. But ladies and gentlemen, Polymarket, there's something new to mention about Polymarket. They today announced that they have a CFTC license. That means they're one step closer to fully legalization in America and fully adopt. And remember how I said Polymarket could basically take over the stock market with the way they're going? They're a little bit far away from doing that, but with all of this that's happening right now, with the CFTC licensing and everything, I mean, it took them only 4 months to get a CFTC license, which is pretty crazy. So with all of that, with the volume we're seeing every single day in these monthly expiry earnings names, in these not earnings names, stock names, in these daily expiry, weekly expiry stock names, the amount of volume we're seeing coming in on these every single day is almost mind-boggling, and makes me wonder, how much of this liquidity is actually being taken away from the stock market and the options market. So gotta watch these for yourselves. If you're not watching every single day how people are positioning themselves on the poly market, you're missing out, because we are so much closer for poly market literally to become a venue, a gateway on stock market brokerages. Like I'm very sure Either Polymarket is going to become a gateway, or people are going to have to create brokeraging softwares that allows you to trade Polymarket in a much better way than the current way is. The current way is through a web platform. You have to use a MetaMask wallet. Every time you send an order, you have to authorize it through a MetaMask wallet. There's so much hindrances in the way, and the speed is cut down. It's a little bit slower than you expect. So there's a lot of problems over there when it comes to properly executing on Polymarket. And the people who are not that tech savvy, if you're a boomer and you have no clue how to use technology properly, you're gonna struggle having to use some of these tools. You want to make it easier for those people. You as easy as you can make it for the people who basically the boomers who have money, the people who actually get involved in these type of businesses and these type of markets, the better the liquidity and the better the volume you'll see. Look at this, $1 million traded on this monthly Tesla expiration. So it's just getting bullish and bullish every single day. And then you have the earnings board over here that you can bet on if the market's going to, or if the stock is going to beat the earnings report or not beat the earnings report. You can use this directly to hedge the stock market position. If you have a short Dell, you can go buy Dell, yes, over here on the binary option, because all that matters is it going to beat the EPS or is it going to miss on the EPS? It doesn't matter if the stock is going up or if the stock is going down. All you care is if it's going to beat the EPS or not. So things like that will be directly helpful to you to hedge your position on the stock market and try to protect your downside. Opportunities like these that were not available before. So once again, as I keep saying it almost every single day that I go live for you guys, if you're not tuning in, you're missing out to Polymarket. You want to make sure that you're looking at what's going on over here. Now, let's go check if we got some of our words being said. Confidence has not been said yet. I'm just going to copy this page and move it over here so it's easier for me to see. In the meantime, I'll leave that there. The confidence has not been said. Have they said NVIDIA yet? They have not said NVIDIA at all in their transcript yet either. Have they said China? They did not say China. That's good. RTX Pro 6000. They have not said that one yet. That one, yikes. We need that one pretty badly. But most importantly, confidence. You'll be surprised to see how many times they use this word confidence in their earnings calls. Almost every single earnings call, you'll see at least one occurrence of confidence. Over here, there's 2 occurrences in Q1 2026. In Q4 2025, there's an occurrence 3 times in total. In Q3 2025, you see them say it once. It's basically this person, Ivana McGill. Sounds like a Canadian name, actually. I guess Jeff Clark over here has also said it. Ivana McGill also said it. And Matt Nicknam. Okay, Matt Nicknam also said it. So I guess it's not just Ivana. I'm just making sure that we get it. We understand who uses these words. So that way, if the person talking looks like we actually don't see who's talking right now. But if Ivana is talking, there's a higher chance that the word confidence is actually mentioned in the call today, which it hasn't yet, sadly. A little bit disheartening, a little bit of a scare, I guess, the fact that it hasn't been said yet. Maybe we go back over here and see, this was used 45 minutes inside the call. This was used 9 minutes inside the call, the first occurrence. Over here, 5 minutes into the call. Over here, we got 19 minutes into the call. So it's a little bit back and forth. Over here, 36 minutes into the call. So right now, the fact that we are 15 minutes into the call already and we haven't had any occurrence of the word confidence yet is a little scary, because most of them seems to be in the early stages or in the end stages. Now we are in the, I guess, 17 minutes into the conference call, maybe a middle stage. Also, the conference call didn't really start right off the bat, right? It took a little bit longer to start the conference call, so maybe we're still in a little bit of early stage. This is me trying to console myself about my bet over there. But look at that now. People were previously looking to buy 65 and 66 Where is it? Where to go? Where to go? Where to go? There you go. People were looking to buy 55 and 56 for yes on confidence, but now the best bid is 32. I'm guessing someone dumped their position, or either they pulled their orders. Not sure what happened. I don't really see any orders over here at the 60s, so I'm guessing they pulled their orders, and the people who are looking to buy are no longer willing to buy at that price, because hey, it might be because what I just said, that the word has not been said yet, and people are getting a little worried about the possibility of that word actually coming through. I'm gonna quickly scan for Nvidia again, which hasn't been said, which is good. I have Nvidia no at 50 cents, and I'm looking to capitalize on that one. And we also bought Power Edge no at 52 cents. I'm gonna quickly scan for Power again and see Power Max, Power Store, Power Flex, Power Storage, and no Power Edge yet. Good. That's exactly what we want to see on the call. There's still a lot of the call left over here, which we can circle back to. In the meantime, why don't we go talk about the stock market? As I said, some of the hot movers today: KSS, ANF. ANF we talked about a little bit yesterday, mainly to the downside if it broke below 65.40. But remember how I said the stock's PE ratio is very low, PE ratio of 6. And this is what happens when a company with that low of a PE ratio reports earnings, and reports in a good way, right? Absolute runner, 30% to the upside, non-stop today, can't stop, won't stop, and a little bit of a rally along with the ANF was KSS. Tomorrow we have, or tonight I guess I should say, Urban Outfitters, another retail name blasting off over here after its earnings report, which is in the watch list. So we'll talk about this one a little bit deeper, along with, you know, ANF and KSS. So let me show you the watch list for tonight, or I should say tomorrow. Here's the watch list for tomorrow. DELL, Clear Spark or Clean Spark, I forget what the actual name is of CLSK is, but CLSK, Workday, Zscaler, Autodesk, Ambarella, I'm thinking that's what the name is for AMBA, Ambarella, PagerDuty, Urban Outfitters, NetApp, Kohl's, it's Abercrombie and Finch, or Fitch, Abercrombie and Finch, or is it Fitch? I can't remember. Zoom, Keysight Technologies, Allegiant Technologies, and then tomorrow pre-market you have John Deere, Li Auto, and Huang, the eVTOL company from China, who's been making leaps and bounds to the north side. Oh, I guess I'm not in the chart, but leaps and bounds to the north side and the technology aspect. They have so many patents that if you go into their office, I haven't gone into their office, but I've seen a YouTube video today where they go into the Huang office, and then they literally have a wall of patents, insanely huge wall of just patents everywhere, and their eVTOL is fully autonomous. You sit in this little car. I guess you could call it a car, but it's basically like a drone. You sit in this little car drone, and it flies up, and then it goes forward and backwards all by itself without your control, fully autonomous, just to show what the possibility of the future could be. You don't have to be stuck on the roads for hours and hours. You can basically fly, is what China's trying to get into. Man, China is ridiculously ahead in technology. It's just mind-boggling seeing where they're going with their eVTOLs and everything in general. Monster, China. Shout out to China on that one. Let me start with Dell over here, because they already have their earnings going on. Let's see if Dell actually popped up to the north side after their earnings report, which they beat. They beat on the EPS, but looks like a little bit of a back and forth action overall. Initially a pop. That pop got stuffed back to the downside. They tried to take it all the way back into the day's low. The day's low held. We pop right back up, and a little bit of a back and forth action now. And the fact that there is a conference call actively taking place as we're looking at the stock, there's a chance that There could be a trade here, but we're not actually listening to the active conference call, so we can't be making decisions sadly on this. What I will do is maybe go to the next stock and come back to Dell once the conference call is over, because then it will be easier to see how the market is disseminating the information from the conference call, from the earnings call, and so on. So in the meantime, let's head over to the next stock on the board, CLSK. Are you making a move here? Looks a little bit similar to CleanSpark. It is CleanSpark, not ClearSpark. Looks a little bit similar to Dell Airlines. Dell Technologies. Is it Technologies? Or is it Dell Computers? It is Technologies. Aha, I knew it. CLSK. So a little bit similar to how the stock is playing out in terms of the chart, but a little bit bullish compared to Dell, because we didn't pull all the way back into the day's low. We actually held around the day's high itself. So a little bit of a better chart, a little bullish over here. We're going to have to dive into the earnings report. For that, obviously, we're going to use our good friend Benzinga and check out the earnings report real quick. So where is CLSK? Let's take a quick read at it. Reported a quarterly loss of 1 cent per share, which missed the estimates of 38 cents per share. That's pretty bad. So they were expecting 38 cents per share. Instead, they lost 1 cent per share. This is a 96% increase from same period last year, however, which is a loss of 27 cents per share. So I guess that is a positive indication in general. But the estimates were a lot higher than what the stock ended up reporting. Company reported quarterly sales of $223.652 million, which also missed the estimates of 236, barely missing it by 5% or so, 6% or so. However, this is a 150% increase from same period last year, which is monstrous, right? So 89 million was what they reported same period last year, and now you're getting 223 million in revenue. So clearly a big drastic change. However, they're not able to beat the estimates. The estimates are way too bullish, I guess, but they are growing. That's very good growth on a company, I want to say small. Maybe we go check what their other stats are before calling them small. Where's Finviz? Finviz is over here. CLSK. What's your PE ratio? 13, not bad. Very cheap value company. 13 in the green, we like to see that. And the fact that they reported and are growing is also another good variable to keep an eye on CLSK. How did people on the stock market predict what CLSK would do on the poly market? Predict what CLSK do. There was no market for CLSK at all, so I guess no opportunity over there. But you can see how all of these basically ended up beating 100%. Is where the markets are resoluting at the moment. Quickly going back into Power Store, Power Max, Power Flex, Power Storage, Power Store again. So they haven't said it yet. They haven't said Power Edge yet, which is good. Exactly what I want. Have they said Nvidia? Nope. Have they said confidence? They said confident, but not confidence. I'm cooked. I'm cooked, chat. I'm cooked, chat. I'm absolutely cooked. And now the buyer at 35 cents also pulled their order. So now it's only 1 cent or 99 cents. There is absolutely no buyer anywhere in the middle. Oh, I think I might be cooked on confident, because previously they used the word confidence. Now it's just confident. Oh, that one's gonna sting a little bit. That one hurt me right in the titty. Oh, that one hurts. We'll see if they end up saying the word for us though. Alexa, shut up. No one asked you to talk right now, Alexa. Shut up. They said Windows 11, but not 10. Okay, let's see why. The PC refresh cycle remains durable, supported by an aging installed base, a significant portion of system not yet upgraded to Windows 11. They are not using maybe Windows 10 as the rollout or whatever the word was, and instead they're just using Windows 11 as a, going to the next iteration. They're directly talking about the next iteration instead of talking about Windows 10, which is what I thought would happen. And that's why I said, you know what, I don't want to buy anything to do with Windows 10 at all. And I think I might have made the wrong decision there, because had I bought Windows 10 for no, that would have been a decent trade. We'll see if they end up saying Windows 10 at some point. Anyone in the conference call could say Windows 10 and they could ruin the trade for you, right? So you got to be careful over there. A couple other words that I have yes for is RTX. Actually, China. Did they say China yet? Let's go check out China. No, China was not said yet. RTX. They didn't say RTX. Come on, you guys almost mention RTX every single conference call. Thankfully, we do have a couple words on the no side and on the yes side. So we're just gonna have to sit here patiently and wait and see how this conference call sets up. We'll take our. Are they already doing Q&A? Looks like they're already doing Q&A. They're speed running this conference call, chat. They are absolutely speed running this conference call. I'm just trying to throw an order to sell my confidence shares back at break even. Hopefully someone comes and buys up the position, because I'm very confident that they're not gonna say confidence. Yikes, yikes, yikes. We'll see if it plays out though. Dell Airlines is my go-to. What's up, Graham? Good to see you in the chat. Mr. Pratt, what is your outlook on the interest rates, kind sir? Up or down? I have no prediction on that. I think the best thing you can do for FOMC rates is just by looking at the tool. You don't need to predict things like that at all, because there's absolute perfect tools created for you to use at your disposal. This one currently shows you a 84% probability that FOMC is going to give you a rate cut, and a 15% probability that FOMC is not going to give you a rate cut. So you don't need to go out there, making guesses and trying to be a crystal ball user. No, just use the tools at your disposal. You have two tools now. You have one, which is the direct tool from the Chicago Mercantile. I think that's how you say this. Chicago, the CME tool website. And your second tool at disposal is prediction markets. Kalshi. Go to, or Polymarket, I mean. Prediction markets. Go to prediction markets and look at what they are showing you at the moment. They're showing you also an 85% probability that we are going to get a rate cut. So prediction markets are aligning up with CME tool website. It could be that prediction markets are using CME tool website to position themselves on the Polymarket websites and prediction sites. It could also be that prediction tools are swaying the direction of the CME tool. Not as much the latter. I think the first one than the second one. The second one is not as true in my opinion, but who knows, right? Who knows? Now there's actual opportunities to place your money based on already available information. If this starts to go down, then you can directly go ahead and buy no for very cheap and sell it as a scalp. You gotta watch prediction markets. So no need to have an outlook, or no need to have a prediction mindset when you can use awesome tools at your disposal for simple information like that. Leave prediction for what prediction is needed, such as the weather patterns, or how many tweets Elon is going to make in a week. Use the right tools for your right job when it requires, such as predicting the probability percentage of what the interest rate cut's going to be on December 10th. Right tool for the right job. If you're gonna go cut a grass, you're not gonna use a snowblower to cut the grass, right? You're gonna use a grass cutter, a lawnmower, a weed remover. The right tools for the right job. That's all it is. Coming back to this over here. Nope. 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 Nothing on Nvidia. Nothing on RTX. Do I just sell my RTX position? Did they say AI factory yet? They did. They said AI factories. So I guess that should count because the word is AI factory and AI factories is basically a plural form of AI factory, which I think should count. And that word is trading like it's been said already. But a lot of these words, EPS growth obviously is looking like it's been said already, but a lot of these words are not trading like they've been said yet, which is very fascinating to me, honestly. Because usually these start moving a lot drastically, they start moving a lot quicker. Today, some of these words are not moving at all. Maybe Dell Technologies. Wait, what happened to my conference call here?
Is going. We see a consolidation in servers. Consolidation in servers is driving denser servers with more DRAM, more storage, and we're in the middle of a PC refresh that's not complete. So I don't see how we will not, what's the best way to describe
the framework. So look, we feel we've many tools in that toolbox to allow us to stay agile and deliver on our EPS numbers. But like I said, it's still very, very early in the planning process here.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Thanks, Samik.
And we'll take our next question from...
Yeah, so we got cut off over here. Shout out to Perplexity Finance for shitting the bed on the conference call. Maybe there's a different tool we could use quickly to go check out if there's a one of the streams open live right now. Some of these streams do stream the conference calls over here, like TrendSpider. Let's go check them out.
So every conversation
there you go.
We're in, which is also us being very aware of all the opportunities that are out there.
So the call is still taking place, but Perplexity Finance just shit the bed. That's all it is. Dell Technologies is still having its conference call, so there's still opportunities that they say these words or not say these words. It'll be very interesting to see how it plays out. But no way for me to listen to it or have a transcript now because Perplexity, come on, fix your goddamn game over there, man. Fix your platform. I guess I shouldn't be that mad at them. They're pretty good at what they do. They're just struggling at the moment with the Dell call, apparently. Struggling with the Dell call for some reason. All right, let's go to the stock over here. Let's go take a look at if Dell is moving again. Ooh, CLSK crashing now after that first initial hold. I guess I shouldn't say crashing, but pushing lower. Dell is indeed pushing a little bit higher over here. Workday was the next stock that we had on our earnings board. Ooh, ugly. First a pop and then a complete reversal to the downside. Workday struggling over here as we're looking at the earnings report move. The next one was Zscaler. How are you doing? Oh, dagger, straight dagger to the downside on Zscaler today. A little bit of a pop from that $260 area. Will be interesting to see if 260 was a significant level on the daily chart. We'll tune into that very quickly. ADSK, what's going on over here? Nice pop on Autodesk. Not bad. Autodesk is looking good at the moment. AMBA. Little bit back and forth. First a drop, then a pop, and then coming right back up. Looks very illiquid, but for sure we'll keep an eye on that one. PagerDuty. Usually like watching PagerDuty go up, but this is a reversal right back to the downside on PagerDuty. Urban Outfitters, we looked at that one earlier. Nice little pop on Urban Outfitters, basically joining its partners in crime such as Abercrombie and Fitch and KSS and all their retailers today. NTAP. This will wrap up the names that reported earnings today after hours on our watch list. And this one had a little bit of a back and forth, but overall bullish at the moment, trying to stay between 116 and 117. We'll see if that continues to give you some opportunities. Top of the watch list, Dell. Let's go to the daily chart. And I need to turn this off. There you go. Actually like this quite a bit. The fact that we're trading around 128.50, which was basically this whole area, this pocket of zone that we were trading in previously. If Dell is able to successfully stay above 128.50 tomorrow, it could be interesting for a long. So I'm just gonna put it as an inflection level to keep an eye on at the moment. Color it also purple, which is a little bit of a higher priority than normal for me. So if we're able to stay above 128.50 and look to make a move back into 130 or higher than 130 could be something to keep an eye out for. Resistance, I want to, it's not really resistance. I guess resistance on the daily chart is basically 128.50. But looking at the after hour chart here, 130 does look like it's struggling at the moment. You can see how multiple candles, they try to get above 130. They failed. Even over here, they're pushing as close to 130 as they can, and they keep failing. It'll be very, very clean level if they're able to start holding above here and then start pushing back through. Potentially this is a move in the pre-market, and then after regular market hours when it opens, you might have to decide above 130. So it basically depends on what the stock does at 130. At regular trading hours around 130, but on my level, as I put in, it's 128.50. As long as you're showing me buying above 128.50 on every single dip, I'll be looking to keep watching for the longs on that name. So Dell, pretty high priority for tomorrow. CLSK, pretty ugly at the moment. First looked good and then started going back to the downside. So let's go take a look at what CLSK's report is. No, we already took a look at that, and the report was actually not bad. They were growing pretty drastically, but market is not appreciating the move at all. Very similar chart also to your boys over at Dell, if you ask me. Right here is the level of interest for me, level 74, 1174, 1182 area. Getting above that would be very interesting, and staying above, let's just round it up to 12 because it's a nice, easier, cleaner number to keep an eye out for. If Clear Spark. If Clear Spark is able to get back above 12, they'll be watching for a long. But with the reaction that we're seeing on this chart at the moment, the fact that it's not able to even hold up over here on the first little bounce attempt is a little bit of a it's a question in mind for sure. I'm asking now what's going on. Maybe the conference call is hurting the position. Maybe the fact that they missed on the estimates pretty drastically. The estimates for EPS was like 30 cents per share or so, and they are only reporting a negative 0.01. Yeah, they beat same period last year, and they're growing same period last year, but that's not really the only thing that matters when it comes to an earnings report, right? The future estimates are missing. However, the stock is growing on EPS and on revenue year over year. So I'm a little bit of I'm confused here. I'm not sure how I want to actually deal with this trade. So that's why looking at the daily chart really helps me. Keeping it simple, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. If the stock is able to get back above 12 and really fight, buyers are coming in and they're punching the sellers in the face, uppercut, right hook, left hook, front kick up the middle. If you're seeing the buyers do that to the sellers, then you actually have a reason to get long. Otherwise, I don't think you have a reason to get long on CLSK tomorrow at all. So keep an eye out for that one. I want to see buyers defending 12 or higher if looking for a long. Pretty simple trade idea over there on CLSK. Next stock, Workday. We saw this one crumble in front of our eyes. First to pop, and not any normal pop. That's a pretty big pop. An 8% pop, followed by a 6% reversal after from today's close. Basically, I'm counting it from today's close. You got an 8% pop originally, and then almost an 8% drop right after that. So what a 180 over here on Workday today. Absolute insanity, if you ask me. I want to quickly put some. I wish I could mark, the stream with the marker. That way I could go back and clip the parts that I want to clip for the short form content. But OBS doesn't allow me to throw stream markers. It's the most annoying thing ever. Maybe I could mark my content on Twitch using a Twitch marker, because I do stream on Twitch, and then use the Twitch marker to help me go back to the video time and clip it from the video. I think that's a smarter way to do it. Oh, I'm a genius, chat. I'm an absolute genius. Who we got in the chat today? We got Angry Buddha, Sean, TH as always. Victor's in the house too. Good to see you, Victor. Haven't seen you in a long time. Michael's in the house. What's up, Michael? Michael, well, what do you have to say about SNDK now, Michael? Weren't you getting mad at me yesterday? Is this camera zoomed in? Like extra zoomed in today? What the heck is going on? Why are my hands missing? Go back. Default. Sure, what's going on? Well, it feels like the camera's a little bit extra zoomed today. Anyways, SNDK yesterday, Michael, you were talking about this a lot. You wanted me to take a look at this for the longs and how it's going up and whatnot. What do you have to say now? Right? Not trying to say I told you so, but you got to be careful, man. You see where the stock was at the start of the year? Forget start of the year. September 2025. The stock was at $50. And it's up 400% in 77 days. What are you expecting the stock to do? What are you expecting the stock to do? You're expecting this to go to 500? Like, what's going on? DJT was another name you mentioned, right? A little bit of Green Day over here, but look at DJT on the daily chart. What are we talking about? Anyways, I don't want to do this with you again, Michael. Michael, your stock sometimes makes me surprised. Like, the stocks you pick sometimes are so crazy to me. I don't know how you pick these stocks, man. Like DLO yesterday. Wild names. I'm going to stick to stocks that actually are tradable and actually have a tradable setup to begin with. So we're going to go back to Workday, WDAY, which reported earnings. Has a catalyst, has a reason to be talked about, and has a reason to be moving. That's why I'm looking at the stock. If it doesn't have a catalyst or a reason to talk about or the reason why it's moving, I don't care about it. It's that simple. Workday, how did you report today? Looks like your report might have been good, but the market completely hated it. Where is it? Give me a better report. Is this the better report? Okay, fine. Workday shares fell after an initial climb. Yes, we saw that. But why? 2.32 versus 2.18. They beat the EPS estimates. 2.43 versus 2.42. They beat the revenue estimates. Subscription revenue were 2.24, an increase of 14.6% same period last year. Revenue backlog 8.21 billion, up 17.6% from same period last year. Total revenue subscription backlog up 17% year over year. Things are looking good. Why did the stock crash the way it did today? Workday delivered another solid quarter by unifying people, money, and AI agents in one trusted platform. We're giving customers a real edge. Are you? Where's the outlook? I see no outlook. Workday stock has given up its prior gain. Workday shares were trading higher after the company reported, but I know that. I can see the chart and see that. Thank you, Benzinga, for basically reporting what I can see on the chart. Awesome. I love seeing news articles like this. Benzinga is great sometimes. Yes, I can see that, Benzinga, but I want to read why. From these numbers alone, I'm not getting enough of a picture. They are growing, but I guess something that's to keep an eye out for is the other metrics out there, such as we can get rid of this. Where's Finviz? We can go to Finviz, type in Workday. What is their PE ratio? Their PE is decently high, 108. We've seen higher PEs before, but 108 is pretty decently high. I guess that's one of the reasons why you're seeing it sell off. High PE, not exactly growing 100% per year, which is what Nvidia was growing 2 quarters ago. Last quarter, Nvidia grew 60% a year. So we're not seeing that type of a growth, and I guess market is automatically going to hatred mode when it comes to Workday over here. So a little bit of a downside move. I want to go check the daily chart to see if there's any levels that stand out, and really I don't see any clear level that stands out at me, screaming at me. There is one over here at 201, but we're still quite a bit of a ways away from that. So I guess you could say last week's low or this week's low. This is last week Thursday. 20th of November should be last week Thursday. It was. So if this stock is not able to find buying above last week's low, that could open up some downside maybe into $200. But with the current earnings report, I mean, it's going to be hard to expect the stock to really get below 216.50. So that is my key inflection level that I'll be watching this name tomorrow. 216.50, see if it sets up as some sort of a supportable long to take part in. I don't want to say like KEYS because KEYS actually did exactly what I wanted to, which is go up, pull back, find support at the gap fill, and then bounce. But kind of like this, not in the same sense because it's not a gap fill, right? Oh, someone pulled confidence 65 or 99 sell. Is that because they said confidence? They pulled their order. Is that because they said confidence? However, we have no way to track it now because Perplexity Finance is not giving us a transcript. God damn it, Perplexity. Okay, so where were we on workday? I'm looking for that 216.50 area to show me some sort of a support to get along into, but boy oh boy, getting below that will be very, very interesting to see how the stock plays out. Zscaler, how's Zscaler doing today? Well, yeah, we did see this one, a little bit of a downside move, just a little teensy weensy bit of a downside move over here. Let's go to the daily chart real quick. Oh wow, really pushing into previous levels over here for Zscaler, huh? So it looks like 262 to 267, 266. We got a little pocket of buyers in this area. Will be interesting to see if we're able to. I guess we did bounce from that area, right? You see how 260 actually ended up being a daily level. I was wondering that if it was going to be a daily level, and it's basically the most recent low, which happens to be from Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025. So pushing into that 260 area and bouncing off of 260. This is actually much closer to what I'm expecting Workday to do. Workday goes into its 265 and then bounces off at 265. This is kind of what I'm looking for Workday to do, and Zscaler is a great example. It's showing us a chart exactly what I'm thinking of. So there you go. That's a nice little example over there. Zscaler, let's go to read its earnings report. Are you looking good? Are you looking bad? What's going on? Stock sinks despite Q1 earnings beat. Ooh. Where is it? Reported 96 cents per share, beating estimates of 86 cents per share, 788.1 versus 773.75. That's a beat. Deferred revenue 2.35 billion, increased by 32% year over year. Outlook raised its fiscal 2026 outlook EPS from 378 to 382 versus estimates of 368. That's higher than the estimate. 3.7 to 3.72 billion versus 3.28 billion. That's also higher than the estimate. So much similar to Workday in terms of the earnings report also, but the stock is just getting pummeled to the downside. Now imagine you were long Zscaler for the earnings report, right? You saw the bullish move. You were long Zscaler for the earnings report, but this is what happened. At the same time, you could have gone to Polymarket. You know, this is why I like Polymarket these days a lot more than the stock market, man. You could have gone to the stock Polymarket and directly bought Zscaler. I guess Zscaler was not being offered. Even Workday, right? Workday, you could have bought yes on Workday for 83 cents on the dollar. And this would have directly hedged your position as Workday originally goes up and then completely pummels to their downside, right? You save yourself a little bit of trouble, a little bit of a headache by going long Workday on Polymarket, but then going long on Workday on the stock market absolutely destroys your day for you, right? So more hedging options. I feel like a broken record talking to you guys every single day about this, but I feel like not enough people are looking at Polymarket in my chat. More and more people need to start looking at this stuff. You're missing out. You're very much missing out. Okay, so Zscaler, I think with that earnings report, it makes sense that we bounce off at 260. I'm going to continue looking for support in these zones on Zscaler. Keep an eye on that one for tomorrow. Autodesk had a good day today on the earnings report, and it's making another new high above 313. Is this into all-time high territories? We're a little bit closer to all-time high territories. Not bad. Very, very good. Autodesk pushing right back up, and they have a little bit of trouble at 329 previously. Maybe, I'm not expecting them to go back to 329 tomorrow, but for sure a stock that is worth keeping on the watch list. At the moment, I have no real levels mapped out. Pre-market, after hours is a little illiquid. Maybe pre-market gets a little bit more active for us to be involved in. But yeah, Autodesk for sure, a high priority name also. It's just a little illiquid during, it might be in the same basket as KEYS, which means it's going to be spready. You might see $1 or $2 spread randomly on this name, which will obviously turn me off on trading it, but we'll be watching it without a doubt. Why is someone, oh, that's yes, I thought someone was buying China no for 639 or selling China no for 39. What is this? Hi, incredible streamer. I really enjoyed the little I watched. Pretty cool, buddy. Your stream is amazing. I love your streaming skills. Great work, and try to keep it up, and I'll be your top #1 fan. If you don't mind me, kindly hit me up on my Discord. Yeah, this is just a straight up spam message on kick.com. So let's boot that message out. Kick that spammer. Kick that scammer. And walk back into what we were talking about, which is the market. ADSK was a good one. AMBA also went up, but again, it's a very illiquid, so I'm not that interested for that bad boy. Let's go to PagerDuty instead. Also illiquid. Wah, wah, wah. Not really something that's exciting me just by looking at the chart. PagerDuty, we're going to move away from that one. Also, Urban Outfitters. Guys, one of the key skills in trading is not being able to find a trade in every stock out there. It's the ability to say no. How much can you say no to a setup, to a trade, to a stock until your setup comes into play? Once you start having that ability to do that, you are unlocking a whole new level of being a trader. Sometimes, not sometimes, most of the times, your setups are just not going to be lining up. You're not going to get what you're looking for, but your mind and your need to be in a trade is going to make those things up for you. Like sometimes you're gonna, let's say your setup is the 9 EMA crossing VWAP, but if you don't actually wait for the 9 EMA to cross VWAP to enter, you're going to get beat up on that position, right? Because you are getting in a little bit early. And then sometimes the 9 EMA gets as close to VWAP as it can, but it never crosses over and it turns back to the downside. And that could take the stock right back to the downside. So knowing your setup, knowing your playbook, and waiting for that playbook, rejecting as many trades as you can away from you, and being as selective as you can when it comes to your setups. That's the #1 thing right there that I see lacking in a lot of traders. Everyone's always going, oh, what can I do with this name? I want to do this. I want to do that. No, I don't see anything here, so I'm not going to touch it. If you can do that, you are one step closer to being a consistently profitable trader. Something that I need to get better at, sadly. Anyways, coming to Urban Outfitters. Looking at Urban Outfitters today, nice move to the upside in the after hours. Let's go really quickly what the report is. It's reminding me of exactly ANF over here. 128 versus 1.18. That's a 16% increase same period last year. 1.52 versus 1.47. That's a 12% increase from same period last year. And what is Urban Outfitters PE ratio? Not bad. It's not $6 or not $6. It's not 6 like ANF, but it's fairly close to 6, right? So Urban Outfitters looking pretty interesting, and look at this awesome trend line that Finviz has already drawn for us on the chart. Pretty cool. Basically breaking this regression channel and pushing into, I want to say, all-time high. Yeah, $80 is basically all-time high. So the fact that the stock pushed into all-time high, and then managed to get a little bit higher than the all-time high, is fairly bullish enough for me to keep an eye on this name tomorrow. You can see how right there, $81, pushed above 81, sadly came back and is now struggling to stay above 81. Tomorrow, if this name is able to get back above this $81 area, the key inflection level in my opinion, a no-brainer long on Urban Outfitters, especially given how bullish ANF and KSS were trading today. They were up 30% on the day, just insane strength on both of those names. NTAP, the last name that reported earnings for us, that's in the important basket. NTAP looks like it had a pretty good move originally, but then gave back most of the move over there, coming back under 120. Let's go take a look at it on the daily chart real quick. I'm not a big fan of that daily chart. Looks like, I guess you could say, it broke some sort of a trend if you were to draw it, but that trend is pretty steep. I'm not a big fan of drawing that trend line. It'll just depend on how the stock trades in pre-market, and I feel like, you know, between these 4 or 5 stocks that we've already talked about, there could be enough trades over here itself, and then on top of that, there's some other names that could give you day 2's opportunities, such as KSS, ANF. KSS blasted off above its daily level of what is it, 2130. So KSS getting above 2130 was very bullish into the close. If we pull back and stay above 2130 tomorrow, there could be a long over here that gives you a very easy push back into 2250. You know, you don't have to risk a lot when it pulls back and shows you support. So I'm looking for KSS for a day 2 trade, potentially a pullback into the earnings VWAP, which I don't have on this chart. I have it on another chart potentially here. Yep, on this chart I have it enabled. Oh, so earnings VWAP right now coming in around $21. So pull back to basically where my lines were on the chart, $21.20, $21. Pull back and showing support in this area. I'll be watching for a nice day 2 play on KSS. Similarly for ANF also, but ANF went a little bit further in my opinion. Well, not my opinion, but you know, it did go a lot further than KSS in terms of the price move, but the percentage, if I remember correctly, was the same. KSS was what, 30% also, 42%. KSS moved 42%, whereas ANF moved 37%. So very close, similar move on both of these names, and wherever ANF's earnings VWAP is, that will be pretty interesting. $84. So let's put a marker at 84 to keep an eye out for on that bad boy. Take a quick little break here. Go check our poly market position. See how they're trading. Oh, they said China. Looks like China was said, so we lost on this one. Looks like Zoho has not been said. That's going at 99 already. That's pretty fascinating. I was looking to buy Zoho. I don't even know what the hell Zoho is, I'll be honest. I was looking to buy Zoho at... hey, they said RTX Pro 6000. Let's go. Look how it's trading at 99 cents. I could basically sell it at 99 cents right now. And, wait, what? Oh, the no is trading at 99? Oh, so we lost that one. So they did not say that. However, Power Edge No is trading at 99. So that looks like we win on that one. NVIDIA 5 times was trading at 99. Looks like we win that one. And Confidence is trading very weirdly. Not sure what's going on with this one. But it's trading very weirdly. Maybe because Confident and Confidence. Let's take a quick little read here. Not sure how this will resolve. Confident is not a pluralization of confidence, but it's in the same instance, in the same context. I'm not sure how that's gonna work out. Not sure how this is gonna work out, but I guess I could pull my order because someone is willing to sell it at 60 instead of 65. Windows 10, no, was a good idea. Remember how I said Windows 10, buying it at 56 cents would be a good idea? That could have worked out, but I passed on that one. Power Edge, we made that trade live in front of you, and that one worked out. So we lost on, we won 1, 2, and we lost 3. Overall negative on this one, I guess. Yikes. Wah, wah, wah. Overall negative on this one. Very slight negative. I was really hoping they didn't say China. That sucks. Wait, no. No is trading at 99 cents. That means I did win. Yeah, okay, so we didn't lose China. Awesome. I didn't lose China, so we actually came out profitable. China, no, we win. Or I should say I win. China, no, I win. RTX Pro 6000, I had yes. That one we lose. The 1-1. Power Edge, no, we win. 2-1. Nvidia, no, we win. 3-1. And then Confident, we lose. So 3-2. Hey, profitable overall. Let's go, baby. Tiny profit, but profitable overall. Yet another earnings conference call that we came out profitable. That's all that matters, baby. We have yet to lose an earnings conference call on Polymarket. We are absolute sniper gang on Polymarket over here when it comes to earnings transcripts trading. And I've shown you my secret methodology, which is not so secret. Going through previous transcripts and finding how many times a word has been said, and you know, then using a little bit of your own brain juices, trying to rub two brain cells together and find out if there is an occurrence or a possibility that they could say those words again and again and again, right? Just trying to play some linguistics, be a linguistics major, see if it works out over there. I'm very happy that we came out profitable over here. I think the last one we traded live on stream was Nvidia, and that was green too. Let's go Polymarket. Another day, another banger on Polymarket. I love it, baby. I absolutely love it. Let's go back to the stock market here really quickly to wrap up with the last few stocks that we have on the watch list, starting with ZM. Where is ZM moving today? Before that, I want to go see what's going on in the chat with Kick. We got an actual chatter in the Kick. Okay. Hi, mate. I'm a beginner with 5 ton. What is 5 ton? I'm looking to invest my money. What would be my first steps to follow? I'm not sure if day trades are worthy in the long term better. You know, in my opinion, day trading is less stressful. Maybe not, it's maybe more stressful. It really comes down to your trading strategies and your capabilities, man. If you are able to be a day trader, it's a whole different animal, right? It's a whole different animal to be a day trader. In my opinion, swing trading is easy mode, right? Anyone, in my opinion, can make money swing trading. It's a lot easier. It doesn't take that much brain cells to rub against to make money in swing trading. Day trading is a lot harder. So yeah, I mean, obviously it's gonna be not as many winners when it comes to day trading. I want to write up the setup over here. This is a nice backside scalp almost at $91. But you could say the backside scalp also set up over here, over here, over here. So not sure why this would be a better backside scalp. But just by looking at Zoom action today, very interesting what happened over here. But hey, another name that went up today. Coming back to this question over here though, it really depends on your day trading. Do you have an edge in day trading or not? Maybe you need to ask that question first, right? So figure out if you have an edge in day trading. What is the edge for you and how can you take advantage for it? If you don't know what an edge is, if you don't have an edge, then you know you don't even enter into the market yet. Go trade paper, go put some money at risk on a free environment, and then come to the stock market, right? Over here, 5 ton is 500, like $500, or is that a brokerage? I don't know what 5 ton or 500 is, man. Is that like the amount of money you have? What the hell is 5 ton? 5 ton. Is 5 ton supposed to mean like you have $500 to trade with? $500. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I've never heard 5 ton mentioned as a metric of unit of measure for money before, so I got very confused. Gotcha. So $500. You know, it's not much, and if you want to be, if you're in America, you can't even day trade with 500, right? So it's impossible for you to day trade with 500. You're gonna need a $25,000 account to day trade in America, and if you wait a couple months, depending on how the new rule change will apply or when the new rule change will apply. Oh, this is actually capitulation almost. Yeah, I'm gonna write down Zoom for my notes. That's almost capitulation. Expanded, volume came in, capitulated, and that's why this backside scalp was better than these ones. Okay, I have my notes ready for Zoom for tonight. Anyways, as I was saying, if you have $500 only, you know, it's hard to be a day trader. You could swing trade with 500, but you know, it's gonna be hard to diversify. And if you want to just put all 500 in one stock, then you know that's understandable. But realize that you're going to still be restricted on how many times you can enter and exit a position, right? If you enter with $500 and you exit with $500 or $489 because you took a loss of $10, $11 on that position, you now completed one trade. So you can only do that 2 more times before your account gets locked. You know, it's not easy to move $500 the way you think it will be. So you got to do a little bit more research. 500, in my opinion, is nothing, right? You can lose 500 like this. So if that's the only amount of money that you can afford to lose, then it makes sense that you want to trade with 500. But yeah, you got to do a lot more research on trading strategies, on edge finding, on you know, looking for actual stocks out there. Prediction markets over retail stocks. What's up, prediction market trader? Good to see you in my chat, buddy. I agree with you, man. I agree with you. But sadly, we live the life where we trade both. I want to say sad because I am addicted to prediction markets, much like you. Speaking of which, actually had a nice little win today on mention markets for Dell. How did you do on the Dell mention markets, bud? I know you've been killing the Trump mention markets, the gobble and the what do you call it? The gobble and the waddle. I know you did good on that one. But yeah, I'm gonna stick to my niches, which is the stock market. Which that's where I've played in. So I'm gonna stick to my niches. I've been getting beat up on Polymarket though because I've been treating Polymarket as a sports gambling book. So I basically turned my green account into a red account. It is what it is. But you know, we take it. We're gonna build the account back up. On Dell was a no sweep. Yes, sir, it was. We had more no's than yes, so we take it. I think I had RTX 600 yes, so we ended up losing that one. And I had China no. And I ended up, oh wait, yeah, we ended up winning China no. That's a good one. Power Edge. Power Edge was a sneaky one, and we traded that live. That was a good one to capture because if you saw the transcript on Power Edge or on Dell, that was pretty cool to see that they said every single variation of power, but they didn't use Power Edge. It was like Power Store, Power Max, Power this, Power that. But they did not use Power Edge. And this is exactly the same pattern that I found for Power. In previous transcripts, it would be Power something, Power else, Power this, Power that, but it was never Power Edge. And Polymarket had Power Edge as the word for Dell. So I was thinking, you know what, let's snipe quickly, let's buy some shares no, as we see all of the powers being mentioned, but none of the powers had an edge following up with it. So I quickly bought some at what, 52 cents no, that ended up being a winner. And honestly, I think that live trade might have helped me be profitable on today's poly market session. So I'll take it. I'll take the win. Nice little win over there. But boy, we got to get you on stream over here, Prediction Markets Trader, because you have been slaying. We got to extract some alpha out of you. Although, I guess we could just show up to your stream and get the same alpha. So guys, go check out my guy, Prediction Markets. Notice how I have notifications turned on for this dude, okay? This is the only prediction market trader that I have notifications bell turned on, because I want to know when this guy tweets. I want to know what he's talking about, what he's trading. And if you are into prediction markets, go hit that beautiful follow button for my buddy over here. His account, when I first found him, 5,000 followers, chat. He's now killing it. He's been on CBC, CBS, CSBC, I don't know, some news channel, American news channels out there, and absolutely slaying. Buddy is on a road to, what is it, 100K, and he's at 70K profits already. He's killing it. 30K left, dude. You're going to get there very soon. I'm excited for your journey. Very, very excited for your journey. Quickly, because we're almost 12 minutes over my scheduled allotted time for myself on the stream. I know, because poly market takes away a lot of my time away from talking about stocks. So let's quickly go back to the stock market here and look for some opportunities on Zoom for a day two trade. However, Zoom pulled back pretty drastically. It will be interesting to see if the VWAP ends up holding and we reclaim the 87, 88 area, an opportunity to push back into 91. Also, remember how I said I'm not going to be interested in Zoom if it doesn't get above that 89.50 area. So the fact that they were able to get above 89.50 on ZM over here on the earnings move, that is fairly decent, right? They got above 89.50. Tomorrow, potentially a move back to 89.50 and then a struggle in this area. That'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Or it goes back here and then it does something like that. Now that is something I'm looking to see how it plays out for a day two opportunity. So this earnings area is interesting. This is the earnings VWAP, reclaiming earnings VWAP, and then potentially a breakout into 89.60 and then a breakout higher than 89.60 is something I'm watching. Here's some filthy MSTR profits for you. Wow-wee-wah. What the? Whoa, this guy is printing money out there, chat. Look at this guy. We got big money spender Angry Buddha coming in with $100 super chat. Dude, you didn't have to do that, bro. You didn't have to do that. I love you. I appreciate you. That's probably my biggest super chat I've made ever. And it makes up for all of my trading losses for the last 2 days. So I'll take it. Makes up for my trading losses the last 2 days. Appreciate that very much, Angry Buddha. But I'm going to figure out a way to pay that back because, dude, you didn't have to do that, man. I appreciate that. Big, big, big shout out to Angry Buddha, ladies and gentlemen. That's the homie. That's the dog. That's the Bitcoin demon, as I call him. The Bitcoin demon. He is... he actually rode Bitcoin, if I remember correctly, from like the 60,000 area all the way into 100,000. He also rode a MicroStrategy from like what? From if I remember correctly, in the 125s to like 500s. So I guess he is now donating some of that money. Is this a tax write-off? Do I need to give you a tax write-off bill now for this donation? I'm joking. I thank you for the $100 super chat, big dog. That means a lot to me. You're the best, man. You're the best. But how did you afford that today? Were you short MicroStrategy? What the hell did you do today to afford that? Did you catch the bottom here, or did you short it? MicroStrategy profits for you? MicroStrategy doesn't seem to be profiting. MicroStrategy doesn't seem to be profiting. So how exactly are you doing this? I guess he's shorting MicroStrategy and he's finally listening to me, which is short MicroStrategy. He's finally listening to me and shorting MSTR and making that money on both sides. It's a shout out to anyone who makes money on the long side, but if you are able to put your bias aside and if you're able to put your opinions aside and find a trade in the other direction, even in a stock that you love and keep very close to your heart, That's a sign of a good trader, right? That's a sign of a great trader who doesn't let biases sway his positions. Sold some puts, made 13 to 16% on collateral. Absolute slaying. Great job, buddy. I love to hear that. You are a monster. That's all I can say at the moment. You are, my friend, a monster. Good job for December 19th. I don't trade options, so I can't really tell you exactly. I can't really, wrap my head around what you did until we talk a little bit further. But hey, making money is always a good thing. Let's fucking go, brother. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Quickly, as I keep getting distracted. But it's a good distraction. It's a sweet $100 distraction. Come on, now we gotta get distracted for that bad boy. Might even have to do a little dance for the $100. But come back to the chair real quick because we want to wrap it up very quickly and go to Zoom. ZM, a company that I hate very, very much. But as I said, man, if it's able to get above 89.50, that changes things. That could get bullish very quickly. So putting 89.50 in my notes. Where is my notes? There we are. Putting 89.50 again in my notes as an inflection level. But I want to see support coming in at basically earnings VWAP. Where is this earnings VWAP over here? At 87, and today's VWAP is at 87.50. I'm just going to give it 87 to $88 as a whole pocket of zone that I want to watch on ZM. Keys, I'm gonna have to ignore keys because if the stock on earnings day had a spread of $1 or more, why would I want to look for a day 2 play on this? So I'm almost not interested on this name at all. Although there was a pretty good setup over here, which is a bouncy ball setup, and there was a backside scalp setup over here. There was a gap close setup on keys. So there was multiple opportunities to actually situate into a trade. I just ignored all of those. I'm going to put keys in my notes because I want to write it up. But yeah, I'm going to ignore the stock for tomorrow for sure. After keys, we have Allegiant Technologies. I haven't looked at this name all day today. Looks like it actually did fairly well, and it's closing around the earnings VWAP. Nice little opening range breakout. That opening range breakout got stuffed back to the downside. They were up about 2-3% on the day. On the daily chart, if I remember correctly, they're going into all-time highs or at least previous resistances. So it's a worthy enough of a name to keep on the watch list, but not as high of a priority. So we're going to give this a blue priority for tomorrow. Last but not least, the last 3 names on the watch list over here to keep an eye out for are the names that are reporting tomorrow. Pre-market, starting with John Deere. That's DE. Pretty expensive name, $400 name, so most likely shitty liquidity, but worth keeping an eye on. Next is another Chinese automaker. The one that reported today pre-market was NIO, if I remember correctly. NIO reported today pre-market. Here's another Chinese EV maker, Li Auto. Worth keeping an eye on. 1744 looks like previous support is being tested again, and if we do get below 1750, 1740, could be a little bit of destruction mode on this name tomorrow. So keep an eye out for Li Auto. We ignored NIO today because it did not stay above 6, but there were some good trades on NIO if you were looking for it. There were some trades over here. However, I just chose to completely ignore NIO. Last but not least, for tomorrow pre-market, again, it's another Chinese name, Yihang. If I remember correctly, this is the drone company, right? Yihang Holdings. Is this the aircraft autonomous? Yeah, it is. That's the one I saw today. Yihang. On, let me see there you go. So I show speed when he went to China. He sat in one of these and he actually flew up and he came back down. The Canadian boys Nelk, they were in China recently. They got in this car and they flew up and they came back down. Some of them were scared, but it's a very cool to see the products that China is coming out with these days. The robotics, the drones, the autonomous vehicles. China is just so far leaps beyond further than why am I saying India? Than America and Canada. I don't know how North America is gonna play catch up over here, but If you look at the chart, though, the chart is so ugly for Yi Huang. The volume is also horrible. You know, $13 name only trading 2 million shares. That's garbage liquidity. So we'll see if it eventually catches some traction off the earnings report tomorrow. I think we already have better names on the watch list like Dell, Clear Spark, Clean Spark. I keep forgetting the name. Whatever Spark, Workday, Urban Outfitters, Zoom, ANF, KSS, Lee Auto, even stocks like, you know, I'm going to throw in SNDK in the watch list just because that name is important tomorrow. It's getting added to the S&P 500 index tomorrow. So it could be a little bit of fireworks on that name. So worth watching SNDK. Trying to remember, you know, obviously you're always watching your large cap, which is Apple. Where's my chart? You're always watching your large cap stocks such as Apple, Microsoft. Apple made a new all-time high today. And remember when I said yesterday, if Apple makes a new all-time high, just buy every single dip. And if you just bought those dips and scalped it out as a day trade, you would have been profitable on that. However, I was actually short Apple over here, and I lost on it. I don't know how I was short Apple in this area and I still lost money. Like, that just goes to show how bad of a trader I am. I don't know what else to say. Google continuing to show some strength still. I think it closed above yesterday's close, so that's good. Another new all-time high close on Google over here, looking very, very bullish. People were thinking that the market was Jover. Market is going back into the downside, going and testing the 200-day moving average, but nope. Everyone was wrong, especially me. I thought the market was Jover, but we're never been so back, baby. The market is back and better than ever. I mean, we're basically about to get above this little 3-day pocket of 666. Ooh, no, 676. Oh, that'd be an interesting number, 666, huh? 676. And if S&P 500 is actually able to stay above 676, more importantly, you're looking at the Nasdaq and S&P 500 futures and not. Why the hell is Power Edge trading at 25 no and 99 no now? The bids just dropped out on that. Almost like the word is being said. That's pretty scary. Don't do that. Don't drop the bids like that. Maybe I should have sold my position when I could have. Anyways. Well, I'm coming back to stock here, markets here. You know, QQQ also should be looking pretty similar. If QQQ is able to get above 613, 615, potentially right back into all-time high going into December, ladies and gentlemen. So, bears getting slapped up right now, and bulls are enjoying the ride. Microsoft Windows 11 recently released. Microsoft will rise. I'm not sure if that has any significance. I think Microsoft will rise naturally because it's at its 200-day moving average right now. But, you know, I don't think it's because of Windows 11. I don't think Windows 11 as a product is that important for the stock to just completely shoot up like that, right? So I'm not sure if that is a valid thesis. I don't think Windows 11 is a valid enough of a thesis for that. I think just naturally, because it's at the 200-day moving average, you're gonna see buyers come in and take the stock back up. That's it. Besides that, I don't see why Windows 11 matters. Windows 11 is just another piece of shit software, just like Windows 10 in my opinion. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's basically all she wrote. Let me quickly go through the chat, see if I missed anything important in the chat. Thank you once again for the $100 super chat, my guy. Much love, much love. It's the name of someone's taken into another confidence. What does that even mean? Not sure. I'm thinking you're talking about the Dell trade that I had over here. Prad RKT looks like a sweet swing trade over the 20. Just thought I'd ask RKT. Let's go take a look at that. I mean, the swing trade entry should have been here at 1823. I'm not sure if you want to chase it all the way up to 20, right? The swing trade entry, in my opinion, was somewhere here at 18, 1830, 1850. You're now basically paying $2 more than what the breakout was. And if you were really looking for the swing trade, I would say somewhere here makes sense, because this is the right shoulder, the left shoulder, and the head. So this is basically the inverse head and shoulder. So somewhere here with your stop down here, which also happens to be the 200-day moving average, on the break of this neckline, which is exactly what I'm talking about right now, somewhere at 180.50 would be your entry. 20 seems like overpaying it, but that doesn't mean that it can't go higher, right? If you're buying it at 20, where is your stop? Is your stop 19? If so, then I think that's not a good enough of a trade. Just wait for 19 to come into play, buy it at 19. If your stop is today's low, I think that would be a better play. But, you know, there's still a chance that this could pull back and range sideways a little bit before it really blasts off. So I think I don't want to pay 20 bucks. I'd much rather wait for a pullback because my stop would be in this area. As the stock goes back below this area, it would invalidate the breakout, right? So if it pulls back and is able to show support, then it validates the breakout even more. So I really don't want to pay that much higher. If I do want to pay that much higher, I'll keep it tight. You know, I'll size less and I'll put the stop a little bit tighter. That way, I'll take a small loss, and then when it pulls back, I can really start my trade depending on the variables when it pulls back. So that's just my way of swing trading. In my opinion, you know, there's multiple ways to skin a cat. So if you want to buy it at 20 and your stop is at 19, you know, more power to you, but it's not something I would do, right? If that helps. If that helps over there. Victor H. Investing's in the house. What is Victor talking about? Meta is going to be up 25% in the next 3 to 6 months. Possible. It is possible. We'll take us... we'll see how it behaves. Right now, Meta is below the 200-day moving average. So good things necessarily don't happen below the 200-day. Then it looks like we're about to get the death cross on the Meta over here. So not sure exactly how it plays out. Meta is also testing the earnings anchored VWAP. If we are able to get above the earnings anchored VWAP, maybe some juice to the 200-day moving average, and then above the 200-day moving average will be interesting. Reddit was strong today. Yes, it was. I looked at Reddit at one point in the day. It did have a pretty good day. So shout out to Reddit. Monster move there. Still got a lot of headwind on the north side. We'll see if it's able to punch through all that. But basically held the earnings anchored VWAP and started blasting off higher. Let me see what else going on in the chat. HPQ reports tomorrow or tonight after hours. Actually, I think they reported today after hours. How come I forgot about that? Not sure how I forgot about HPQ. I know they reported. I just didn't add it to my watch list. This is why sometimes, Michael Anthony, we love you, okay? When you talk about stocks that have a reason to move, we love you. HPQ, worthy of a name to put on the watch list. Looks like these actually struggled today, even though they beat the earnings report. Struggling over here and pushing back into previous ranges. Worthy name to keep it on the watch list. I just don't have any levels right now. Also, I'm getting a little tired and my throat is drying up. My stomach is rumbling. I haven't eaten all day. I have to walk my dog. The sun is going down, or I should say the sun is already down. So my dog's going to be pissed off at me for not walking him in the middle of the day. So guys, I think that's a good note to call it an end on. You know, we've given you some good some good ideas, some good levels and so on for tomorrow. We'll see if they come to fruition, right? Tune in tomorrow for the last stream of the week, because Thursday is Thanksgiving holiday for America, so markets are closed that day. So tune in for tomorrow for the final stream of the week. And then Friday is a half day. I'm most likely not trading on Friday because who cares about a half day? The volume is going to be shit. So that means I have a 2-day weekend, right? 2-day weekend going into the final week of the year. December is here, ladies and gentlemen. December is here and it's knocking on your door. Time to get your goals and all the other parts of your life achieved if you haven't already. So let's get ready for Christmas. Let's get ready for December. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the final stream. Thank you for tuning in. As always, we love you. TraderPrad out. Peace. Where's the fade to black button? We're missing it again. God damn it. Wait, it's over here. It should be here. No, we're going the wrong button. Okay, here we go. Fade to black. Bye, chat.